Okay. Let's see why Usher ain't talking in this whole Diddy mess. Like, why aren't these people who obviously have deep ties and connections to him not saying anything? Obviously, to preserve their own bank account and career, but just tells you how immoral these people are. Like, nothing matters more than their own fame, money. I was going to say self, but I don't really think they give a shit about themselves. You can tell how people feel and think about themselves by the way they treat others. Actions speak louder than words, and it all comes from inside, whether we realize it or not. So let's see why Usher ain't saying anything. Because he's a Libra. That's why. Because a Libra, for all of its talking, ain't gonna do shit, especially if there are consequences. A Libra is the opposite of a fighter, i.e., Aries. So there we go. We solved the problem. Libra sun, ugh, Pisces moon. And a Pisces is just perpetually lost and confused. So emotionally, he's lost and confused. Hmm. Hmm. Don't think I want to know whether that's true or not. Ew. Ooh. Ooh. Here's a Scorpio stellium. Ooh. Ain't that interesting? Okay. It's not in the most impactful places. So at least there's that. He learns and communicates like a Scorpio, which I basically means a sick sense of humor, very kind of dark, sarcastic. That would be the most negative traits of a Scorpio Mercury. The best would be to just lead from your intuition, communicate with your intuition, use all those feelings as like communication with the universe, communication with other realms, and just be able to kind of communicate on a feeling level, which I think is very advanced and adept. You would have to do a lot of emotional work on yourself to actually receive the benefits of that intuition, which I doubt he does. But that's not really something most men would do, let alone a man in his position. So just assume he hasn't done it. Venus, Scorpio, so he's attracted to Scorpios. That's not really about him. It's just what he's attracted to. More Scorpio, not bad. Scorpio is ruled by Mars, so it's in its happy place. It functions well there. You just, instead of attacking the world like head on, straightforward, up front, like an Aries would do, a Scorpio is more gonna be surreptitious about it and kind of like stay in the shadows, stay in the darkness, and then just strike when the time is right when you're not looking. I mean, it's a Scorpio. What do you want? These like the representations of these signs are there for a reason. There are distinctive traits that they exhibit that are their image. Jupiter Leo. Do we see that? Does he come off as a Leo? Jupiter is like your little extra bits, your little sprinkle on top. So he would exhibit Leo characteristics. It is something executable that like you can see that he can use. I mean, yeah, he's famous. So I guess you can say any famous person exhibits Leo traits. They love being the center of attention. They love the spotlight. They love the accolades. They love the adoration. I guess I don't see him being strong in any way, shape, or form. He's always seemed like a little boy to me, which apparently is Diddy's type. Also, like I think I remember Justin Bieber has a lot of Pisces in his chart too, which is why he's so lost and confused and seemingly unable to get out of the state that he is in. And strangely, none of his friends are coming to help. Hollywood, or just the industry, one and the same. Say Hollywood if you're on the West Coast, the industry if you're on the East Coast, or anywhere else, basically. Saturn, Virgo. Hmm. Hmm. Virgo is the opposite sign of Pisces. Again, these are opposing signs that are kind of inconsequential. They don't weigh super heavy. It's not scary. Like, it's not going to be a war if you get them together or you have them in a predominant place in your chart. It's just going to be like, it's just not going to be harmonious. You're going to have a little like quarrel within yourself. You're going to be like, well, why do I feel this, but I think this? You're just going to feel kind of divided naturally until you marry those two signs. And then you'll be whole onto yourself. So that's a great reward. Again, if you're just willing to conquer whatever the issue is, look at it honestly and do the work, you get the reward. And I think that's always well worth it. So his moon sign, the way he feels is the exact opposite in his lessons in life. It's the exact opposite of his teacher. So I guess if you looked at it from the perspective that Saturn withholds traits and qualities until you prove that you are worthy of them, withholding the traits of a Virgo, it basically leaves you with Pisces. So he's already there. So in other words, he would have to, in order to conquer his Saturn and get the rewards of Virgo. I don't really see Virgo being much of a reward, but you have attention to detail, which is everything that Pisces lacks. It gives you some focus, some path, some way out of just being perpetually lost and confused, which is Pisces. Um, so if he were to transmute those Piscean traits and connect your mind to your heart and use your mind basically to make sense of your feelings and kind of come together, focus, execute, then you would receive they would be easier for you to do from there on out, which would basically be receiving your Virgo qualities, your reward. It would be easier for you to focus, collect information, collect details, and put it into action because Virgo is the airiest of land signs. Pisces is the airiest of water signs. So all you would need is to focus, use all the information around you to kind of bring it in, hone it, direct it, and execute. So that would be him conquering his Saturn, which he ironically kind of needs to do right now, but isn't doing. And sadly, most people don't. And that's why you just feel like you're repeating either the same cycle or keep getting hit with the same lesson over and over and over again. It's because you haven't conquered your Saturn. Once you do conquer it, you get the benefits and the teacher goes away because you've already learned what you need to know. And therefore, like, you get the A on the test, you get the star, you get the accolades, you get the reward for your hard work, you get the prize that is in that locked chest if you just figure out how to unlock it. That's basically what Saturn is. And sometimes if you have opposing signs in your chart, it can either lead to that just weird feeling that like you're split or you're constantly like battling with yourself. Like your mind tells you one thing, your heart tells you another, like your soul deeply wants this, but logically you know you should do this. It's just kind of a natural disharmony until you identify it. And then once you identify it, you have a reason and the knowledge to know that, like, if you just kind of switch your perspective and use those traits to complete each other, which they do, and choose to work together, with yourself, within yourself, oh my God, then instantly becomes the most harmonious thing because you are whole. You actually have everything you need within you. That's the benefit of opposing signs. What one does not have, the other does have. So you actually have two halves of that coin within you. It's just that if we don't know better, we use them against ourselves and we use them inappropriately. And it's easier to fall into that contrast and opposing forces as opposed to flipping the switch, doing right by them, and getting all the good that is to come from them. So that again, that's why knowing your chart is so so important. Ugh. Oh, well, I was just thinking, back to Usher's chart. I was like, what could help that Pisces get the Virgo rewards? And then I looked at Scorpio and I was like, that ain't doing it. Libra ain't doing anything. And actually, you know what? I think if you were to take Scorpio and combine it with Libra, you would get Pisces. Yeah, because Libra is also just perpetually lost and confused and kind of inconsequential. And Scorpio is the depths of the ocean, all the feels, deep, deep, deep feels. So if you kind of levitate that and bring up those deep feels, but then just get confused by them and lost, there's Pisces. Yeah, funny the way that works. If Scorpio and Libra had a baby, it would be Pisces. Funnily enough, if you haven't noticed, there like anybody who thinks that there is no like reason, logic, or credit to be given to astrology, look at your family's charts. We are cosmically drawn together. And if you ever question that, look at the charts. It is in the charts. Whenever you look at families, they actually have so much in common. Like your kids will have distinctive, like they will have the same signs as the parents. It's so fascinating. It truly is a pattern, and it's so fascinating to see. I dare everybody to look at that. We are cosmically drawn together. Like attracts like. Your kids will have similar signs to you, so that's just something also to look out for. Don't marry somebody who has traits that you hate because they will probably be in your kids as well. And I mean like the traits that are literally in the charts. It's not just like, oh, you're just like your mom, you're just like your dad. Like there's something deeper in there. These are not learned characteristics. You are born with them. It's just interesting. So anyway, back to Usher. The Leo could help him. Leo is the land sign of fire signs. A Leo can do anything. A Leo will start and see anything through. So there you go. The Leo can help his Pisces conquer his Saturn. Ew. Oh, oh. Ew. He has a Virgo ascendant and a Virgo North Node and a Virgo Saturn. Ew. Ain't that interesting? Diddy likes Virgos. That paralyzing attention to detail. Hmm. Interesting. So I mean, obviously, if your ascendant sign, your soul is your North Node, well then bingo, you have it easy in this life because you're already born on your life path. As long as you stay true to yourself, you are walking your North Node, your path to happiness. So good for him. However, the Achilles heel to that would also be that his Saturn is a Virgo. So the way life attacks him would be through Virgo or via Virgo qualities. But if your Virgo is yourself, basically you either are well equipped to conquer your Saturn already, or again, anything that is meant to be used against you can be used for you. Anything that is meant to be used for you can be used against you. So, depending on what kind of person you are naturally or how smart you are, which a Libra isn't even good at what it's supposed to be good at thinking, it's literally just good at bullshitting. And especially with just Virgo in particular, that I mean, I can't find a better term than just paralyzing attention to detail because that's what it is. And like it can be paralyzing, mentally paralyzing. And then when you paralyze your mind, or you just get like just lockjaw of the mind, you just can't get out of your analysis paralysis. What starts in the mind manifests everywhere. Like it will lead to illnesses in the body. So you can be your own downfall, especially with this sign. So if your Virgo is your ascendant sign and your Saturn, ooh, you are your own worst enemy if you don't know any better. If you just subconsciously follow those traits and let them overrun you and paralyze you and basically bury you. And in Virgo's case, it is just the details, just the paralyzing details of everything. You can't stop overthinking and overanalyzing and just doing too much mentally. I don't even know if I see that in him, quite honestly. I've never really liked him or followed him. I don't even like his music. Definitely don't like his connections to Diddy. Honestly, when I think of him, all that comes to mind is herpes. But that's what I know him most for. Ugh, ugh, ugh. It's very definitive of that whole world. It's just, remember, kids, Diddy is more the norm than he is the outlier in that industry. In any industry that can be under the guise of the industry. Just don't go there. Or if you do go there, know what you're getting into beforehand. Again, know before you go. Always. In every place, under every circumstance. Know before you go. Knowledge is power. And you need that, especially if you're going to put yourself amongst the power players of the world. But anyway, yeah, from like any little bits I've seen of Usher, he kind of seems like a Libra Pisces, kind of just like a lost, confused little boy. We don't know any of these people really, who they really are, what goes on behind the scenes in their personal life, behind closed doors. So, yeah, who's to say? But again, this is just an example of what and how much you can derive from charts and how many different ways they can be interpreted depending on what you give into or what your natural tendencies are, whether you invest in the good of any sign or the bad of any sign. And sometimes, if you don't even know a sign is there, you won't use it at all. And then it's completely negated, and therefore it will go dormant, just like a muscle. What you don't use will atrophy. So, just it's a good example of how important it is to know your chart and what you can do with it. And the more you put into it or can be honest with yourself about it, the more and the faster you can improve upon it and use your tools for the absolute best results, the best you can be, the best life you can have. It all starts with your chart. So again, we're just using these as an example so you can see how much can be derived from your chart depending on any given situation, and what you are willing to divulge or put into it. The more you give, the more you get, because it will be more accurate to your life thus far. And then once you know your tools, know your chart, you decide where you go and how you use it from there. So you're knowing your chart is just your starting point. And then I think it opens all doors and all windows, and the possibilities are endless. So if you would like to know before you go, check the links. And if there's anyone else, any public figure that you want me to read or look into, leave it in the comments and we'll continue learning and hopefully laughing.